has been made an extraordinary service, an extraordinary moment. This is what the crowd has been waiting for. As they descend the steps, members of the Household Cavalry forming a staircase party, the state trumpeters and captain's escort from the Household Cavalry also providing ceremonial support. Max Foster, many of the people who are assembled there who were able to actually witness the kiss, those are people who have worked for charities that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle did.
Yeah, intentionally placed there. So as I understand it, they plan to go down and greet some of these members of the public. Or at least that was the plan, you know, these things can be flexible. There's a big message there. They want the public involved in their royal futures. They want their causes deeply involved as well in anything that they do in the future. And you're going to see now the rest of the royal family, Dora Ragland as well, gather on the steps in that spectacular scene outside the West Door as they wave them off.
Let's listen in. Princess Charlotte waving as Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, Duke and Duchess Sussex begin their procession. The assembled crowds and all the military regiments, all of which have a personal association with Prince Harry. Bonnie Greer, just in terms of that ceremony that we saw, I've never seen anything like that, certainly in a ceremony for the British royal family. They have a gospel choir singing, you know, "This is a light of mine, I'm going to let it shine," as they depart to sing "Stand By Me."
I mean, this, to hear a preacher from my hometown of Chicago preach in this royal peculiar, this personal chapel of the Queen is a moment that is not describable. And that they did it is, these people allowed it to happen is quite amazing. And it's a signal, as well as a friend of mine, Reverend Rose Wilkins, preaching as well. This is a signal that this is a new day. Now, you know, whether it will happen is another thing. But the royal family has said, we're ready to make the change. It's now over to you people, and it's wonderful. It's just indescribable to watch.
If there was any question about Meghan Markle bringing some change to the royal family, this ceremony certainly was the beginning of something.
Well, she did it in a way that was incredibly bold. It wasn't a sort of tiptoey gesture. She actually, I mean, these were colored, but actually she changed the tenor of that ceremony completely. And she had people sitting there who had never heard that music before in a church like this. So she's already made a mark, as well as wearing a dress created by the first woman of the House of Givenchy, a huge couturier. So she's doing things in a bold and yet subtle way, and I'm quite impressed with her.
We're also joined by Harvey Young, who's Meghan's Northwestern professor, from university. Harvey, I'm wondering what you thought of that service, just in terms of the change that Bonnie was speaking about.
Oh, absolutely. It was an extraordinary ceremony. I mean, if you think about the fact that Meghan has written about this, about her mother being subject to racial slurs, and Meghan witnessing those, that her mother was being called or being misrecognized as a nanny when Meghan was a kid. You know, so when Meghan talks about the need to embrace all of who she is as a biracial woman, it's to celebrate her blackness as well as her whiteness. And you saw that on display here with Michael Curry, who was born in Chicago but grew up in Buffalo. My great aunt went to his father's church, actually, and that Episcopal service is one where it brings together everyone across lines of race and division and class and health and wealth. And you saw that. I think that you saw an example of sort of black virtuosity, you know, on display from within the ceremony, from those in attendance. It was rich, it was wonderful, it was extraordinary. Meghan should be proud of the ceremony.
Did it make you expect from Meghan that she would bring this and so quickly to the family?
Absolutely. I mean, Meghan is, she's an adult. I mean, she is a self-confident, self-possessed woman who knows what she wants. She's a feminist. She's a crusader for women's rights. She's a person who believes in conversations about race and equality. You saw that from the engagement. You saw that from before the engagement with her public statements on her own platform and her own spotlight. So the fact that she uses this stage, this moment, this spotlight to amplify those causes that she believes in, yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
Nicola, I think the procession is coming your way, yes?
The procession is passing us right now. Those 4 winter greys, that Ascot Landau carriage that is open. Thank goodness the weather is good today. They had the Scottish state coach on standby in case it was raining. This, of course, gives us a much better view. It's called the Ascot Landau because the Queen rides in it to the races. Harry also actually rode in it on the way back from William's wedding here. He and his new bride riding. Those horses, by the way, are called Milford Haven, Sir Basil, and father and son combo, Tyrone and Storm. And they are about to go out in public. Remember, this wedding took place inside a castle. Castles have high walls. They are about to go out to the public right now.
They had there's 100 carriages, I believe, in the Royal Mews. In the Royal Mews, and it's remarkable. Max, I mean, they're holding hands as they did throughout the ceremony. There was Harry apparently said to her when she came and he first came into contact with her, said that I believe the words were you look lovely. I missed you. You look amazing. I missed you.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a wedding, isn't it? It's 2 people in love, and all the setting really adds to it. But they, you know, 2 emotional moments were obviously when he caught sight of his bride, also when Gloria Harland caught sight of her daughter. I think there were 2 key moments, but speaking to what Bonnie says, you know, as much as this is done for the public, I think it's done as much, if not more, for the royal family. And, you know, none of this happens without the permission of the Queen. And I don't think she's been that involved, but she's basically said, you can do what you want. So when I asked the palace about whether this is a feminist move on behalf of Meghan, they said, well, she's just trying to be herself. And you can't imagine how difficult that is in that system, to be yourself.
Just the same carriages, I think, coming around your way, or passing by you, yes?
Miss Queen Victoria, standing at the top.
You can hear the crowd as it is as the crowd takes up the cries, the celebration. It is really quite something to be here, standing about 10 deep on the sidewalk and seeing the procession as it comes by. There's the new royal couple. You can hear the cheering in the open carriage. And this is really what they have been waiting for. I've been here for hours and people just wanted that shot. They wanted to see Meghan as the new royal with her new husband. They wanted to celebrate this moment. Harry and Meghan had said ahead of the wedding that they wanted people to feel that this was part of their celebration. They wanted them to feel part of this wedding day. And so getting to see them in the carriage, getting to see them go by is very much part of that. You know, there's talk of Harry Harry's mother being the people's princess, and there is a feeling amongst the people I've spoken to here today that Meghan will be the next incarnation, if you will, of the people's princess. They have taken her to heart, and seeing her in that open carriage was just such a treat. Such a treat. Such a beautiful scene, a beautiful day, and just a day to celebrate love and celebrate the royal family. Anderson?
There were moments during the service where the choir was singing Stand By Me. It looked like some of the members of the royal family didn't exactly know where to look or what to do.
This was very different for the royal family. English church tends to be a lot more staid, a lot more severe in its approach, I suppose. The Queen is very keen to get people into church. She's a devoutly religious woman, she's the head of the Church of England. And I think the type of music we heard today was very different for them. Zara Phillips at one point apparently appeared to get the giggles. But I think that was all part of the inclusion, when you're not allowed to laugh in church. I think they were thoroughly enjoying it. It was just very different for them, and particularly different for a royal service, because of course normally they're quite conservative and they follow a very classical route. And so I think there was a really nice mix there today. And just looking at the household cavalry escorting here, it's really good to mention that a number of these soldiers served with Harry in Afghanistan. This is how personal every element of this wedding is. A number of these men were chosen because they served with Harry, and it was a moment to reward them for their service, for their friendship, for their comradeship. And so, again, in every possible way, this couple have made it personal.
Yes, 250 members of the armed forces from regiments and units that hold a special relationship with Prince Harry are taking part throughout the day.
Just a little note from the pool reporter. There was only one actually allowed into the church, which was a bit of a controversy, but telling me that Prince Charles took Gloria's hand as they left to sign the register.
There is, and I think Charles is going to make a point to take care of her all day. She's Meghan's only blood relative here, and I think Charles is going to go out of his way to make sure she's included in everything and that she's not left on the periphery, because she's a member of the family as well by extension.
We want to talk to Josie about the dress, about the tiara. Of course, we've got to go back to Allison, and we'll come back. Allison?
Anderson, we have all been watching this moment, hankies in hand, watching this real-life fairy tale unfold. This is an American girl of modest means. She was born into to parents, and then they were divorced when she was quite young. This was not a silver spoon girl, and she has married a prince. And this, Richard, we've been talking about the stagecraft of all of this fairy tale playing out globally before everyone's eyes.
You accuse me of being heartless when I wasn't tearing up during the ceremony. Being British, of which I'm extremely proud, I can certainly tear up watching these, because this is what we do best. And what you are seeing here is the 1,000-year institution, the British monarchy, which, remember, changed its name very deliberately to the House of Windsor at the time of the war, deliberately to get away from the German name. So they are chameleons, they can change, they can shift, but they do it with purpose. And what we're seeing here, look at this, the household gathering, the mounted regiment, the Ascot Landau, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, riding through one of England's oldest royal cities, Windsor.
And Windsor doesn't get more picturesque and quaint than Windsor. I mean, this little town is like something out of a, fairy tale.
I take issue with some of my colleagues who say that she is modernizing the royal family. She's dragging the royal family into the... They want to be modernized. You can't modernize somebody if they don't want it, otherwise you end up with a Diana situation.
She's a vehicle for that modification. She's a sort of the savvy of taking the bridge to that, and I think they needed that.
And she really brings in these fresh ideas. We saw this with Diana, how she really revolutionized holding people, talking to people, being the people's princess. And Meghan we just saw it at the ceremony. Bishop Curry gave an absolutely electrifying address, talking about the power of the gospel choir, and the fact that there were so many intimate touches. She was holding his hand, he pushed out the veil. It was so romantic, and you see overall they are completely devoted to each other. And I do think it's important to remember about the procession. These men on the horseback, they are serving soldiers, they are brave heroes who fought so bravely for this country and for the world.
What's really interested me is that